Okay, so I'm going to talk about a Wah Wah pedal with you, and it's probably not the pedal that you think I'm going to be talking about. It's not the Crybaby. Instead, it's the Electro Harmonix Cock Fight. So it is a pedal based around the idea of a cocked or a parked wah. This also has a fuzz circuit in it, and it can sound quite spluttery thank you to a beautiful bias circuit thing in this. So it can sound a bit like an angry cockerel squawking around the farmyard, which kind of gives it its name. With the frequency range, we can find that cocked or that parked wah setting. Fuzz section in one half of the pedal, which is a beautiful fuzz. A talk box function. Another thing that this pedal does, which is super cool, is it allows you to put the fuzz before or after the filter. The artwork on this thing is really cool. I love Electro Harmonix pedals. I think that they make some beautiful pedals. The on-off switch on this turns the cockerel's eye on or off, which that's a win for me. If a pedal has a cockerel that you can turn its eye on and off, I'm going to buy it regardless of what it does. It has an expression pedal input, so you can run a pedal into this and then this thing becomes like a wah wah pedals. And I use the Electro Harmonix expression pedal, which is a great wah wah pedal, and it's very light. So I just use the two of these things together and then I'm really happy. It's a beautiful little pedal and it's got a cheeky little name. Okay, so first things first, what have I got? Got a Gibson Les Paul, so a humbucker guitar. I'm running into the EHX Cock Fight, and I'm going out into a Boss Nextone amplifier, which is set to give me an EL34 power stage. Feed out from that into a 2-notes captor, which is kind of giving me the cabinet simulation, and it sounds like this. So it's that usual Britishy crunch which I just love so much. At the moment the pedal is set purely just to give me a wah wah function. No, the drive elements are into this, and see what it sounds like. So it sounds pretty decent, but what we're going to do now is play with the bias control. So what the bias control does is it kind of affects the voltage which is running on the fuzz section and introduces this kind of idea that the battery is running flat, so we get dead spots in the sound and it begins to sputter, and it sounds incredible. So this is biased about halfway on the pedal. Okay, on the bass notes you can begin to hear them sputter. So it's beginning to sound quite sputtery. I'm going to bring this down to about 11 o'clock, see what it sounds like. So we're now actually getting signal degradation and signal loss. So you can play with it. If you're much more staccato and articulate with your playing, you'll really begin to make it sound like a cockerel fighting. It will sound like a cockfight. If we turn that really low down, so okay, this is hardly on. This is barely on the bias, pretty much all the way down. It's pretty difficult to use like that, but it's amazing that it goes that range. I'm going to put it to just over halfway, because then when you dig in and you challenge the pedal, that's when the voltage loss is really going to be heard. So it's sounding pretty messy and pretty fuzzy and pretty like a nasty wah-wah, and that's kind of the sound that I'm liking. So just for reference, I'm going to turn the fuzz circuit off so we can hear what the wah-wah sounded like again. So it's nice with the fuzz circuit on. It just sounds nastier if I put a little bit of bias back up with that. So it's just got more snarl to it. I'm always after a snarly guitar, and a wah-wah with a bit of snarl in it is lovely, and this pedal just combines them both. Okay, so I said that a cool feature that this pedal has is it allows you to put the fuzz before or after the filter effect. Putting it before the wah-wah is really something which was done kind of in the old days. Jimi Hendrix did that. Okay, lots of pictures of Hendrix running a fuzz face into the wah-wah. But let's hear what it sounds like if we put the fuzz after the filter. So fuzz before the filter. Fuzz after. There is a difference. That sounds more, I don't really know, it sounds heavier, it sounds harsher. Let's hear it again with fuzz before the filter. It sounds more nasal, that sounds, yes, that sounds more nasal, that sounds kind of more suppressed. Sounds vintage, more older. After, this is the fuzz after the filter. Fuzz before. Yeah, they're very different. There's a distinct difference in the way that they sound. For me, putting fuzz before the filter is more the sound I'm after. It's kind of more vintage. When you have the fuzz coming after the filter, it's a bit harsher, it sounds a bit high gain. I know that's the wrong word to use, but it sounds more in your face. It doesn't sound as snarly and as kind of, so yeah, for me, fuzz before your filter. So So another thing this has, it has a completely different mode, which is rather than having a wah-wah pedal, it turns it into a talking filter. So rather than producing like a treble sweep, it kind of creates these formant sounds. It's a strange setting. It becomes perhaps more usable when we flip the fuzz going after the filter, and then we get some very, very synthesizer-like sound. So I think that setting, the talk box setting, is one for perhaps use with very little wah action, or even taking the expression pedal out and just keeping it in that nice filtered setting once you've found what that is. Okay, so I have the fuzz on the pedal, but I've taken the drive down. The drive is sitting at about 10 o'clock, and the bias we've reduced down to get a bit of that splutter. So the thing I like about that is that's the frequency range kicking in for me. I'm putting the toe straight down to the floor, but I'm not getting that harsh shrill. It's still high, but it's not taking my head off. So for me, this is where the pedal sounds the more usable and more what I'm looking for. So what do I have here? Okay, I've taken the frequency, I've rolled that back off so it's not too high end. I've got some of the bass put back in, which a normal wah-wah would remove. I've got the bias reduced a little bit, so we're getting a bit of the splutter, and I have the drive of the fuzz section not working too much. So it's really just thickening the sound and giving it a bit of snarl. And I get the articulation still there, but if I kick in a bit, then it gets a bit snarly. And I can still do that wah kind of wacka wacka noise. Does that even have a name? So this pedal will cost you about 120 UK pounds to buy. Compare that to a Crybaby, the GCB 95 regular one, that's about 100 UK pounds. But that's an actual wah pedal. This isn't a wah pedal. You need to buy one of these expression pedals to use with it if you want to use it as a wah pedal. I have both. I have the Crybaby and I bought this. Interestingly, I bought this thing second hand because you can pick up a good bargain on these things, okay? A lot of people are buying these things, they don't really get on with them very well, and then they're shifting them. Interestingly, you can also buy this pedal as an actual wah pedal format. So it looks more like this, okay? It's the same size as this, but all these settings are on the side of it. So when I first played with this thing in its pedal, wah pedal format, I didn't really get on with it. It had settings on it of pre and post and bias, and I hadn't read the manual. I just thought, hey, I don't need it, I can play with this thing. And I couldn't get on with it. It was making horrendous sounds, and I just found it quite a confusing pedal to play. So no, I didn't buy it, but I'd heard some sound demos from Electro Harmonix, and I thought I really need to give this thing another go. Learned a little bit about it, went and played one again in this format, and absolutely loved it, and thought, no, I need to buy it. So I did. But say you can get them pretty good prices second hand, because a lot of people haven't really got on with them. This is my cat. Yeah, she's been here for most of the video, so apologies if some little ears or tail pop up or something like that. Yeah, like that. So a really cool pedal, one that doesn't get a lot of love on the internet. Some people think this is a bit gimmicky, that, why would you buy that? Just buy a Wah Wah pedal, but this is so much more. It's a very usable, really, really beautiful wah sound. And with the controls it has on it, you can really get the sounds that you want from it. And the fuzz section is excellent. The fuzz section is so good that if you open this thing up in the back, okay, there's a little dip switch that allows you to turn the whole filter section off on the pedal. You're kind of thinking, why would you want to do that? Why would you buy a wah kind of pedal and then turn the wah off? The fuzz is so good that you can just use this as a fuzz pedal. It will turn all the frequency settings off, but the fuzz combined with the wah is just excellent. And it solves that whole problem of trying to find a fuzz pedal that works with your wah wah and also works with other things. This is just a normal, regular pedal board style pedal, and it works beautifully with the expression pedal that you plug into it. And if nothing else, look at the cool artwork on that. And as I say, that eye turns when you turn it on, which is really handy. Also pretty handy for me, because sometimes when I'm playing on live on some stages, I can't fully always hear what I'm doing all the time. Not great, I know, but sometimes I don't have a lot of control over that, and I need to know if my wah wah is on or off. So I have a real love for Electro Harmonix pedals, and this is probably my favourite. This, and I love the Deluxe Memory Man series, okay? They are beautiful, and they've got some wonderful choruses. They're a great company. So do you think this pedal is just a funky little name with a funky little chicken, or do you think it actually sounds good as well? Let me know what you think. Drop me some comments if you've got some other cool pedals like this, or if you even have this pedal. How do you use it? Can you get that talk setting to actually sound usable? And the usual social media stuff. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I shall see you soon.